Hello students. So let us consider the Markov chain Monte Carlo methods. We have already seen Monte Carlo integration, how Monte Carlo methods can be applied. Importance sampling is a part of Monte Carlo integration, Monte Carlo methods. So now we are moving a step ahead. We are considering Markov chain Monte Carlo method. So let us briefly discuss the basics of it. Suppose we wish to generate observations from a PDF fx. So further suppose that it is really hard to generate observations from f, in the sense f has a complex form and or f is not known completely. What we know is only f up to a normalizing constant, and so there are certain difficulties associated with uh, simulating observations from f. So for example, if you consider inverse Gaussian distribution, the distribution, look at the PDF, it doesn't look really easy, and the closed form CDF also doesn't exist for that PDF, and so you can't invert it and generate observations just like that. So it means more efforts are needed for such distributions. So what can be done? So we have already seen the limitations of acceptance rejection sampling, how sometimes we have to generate 3 observations to get 1 observation and all. And again, we may not get exactly what we want. So what can be done then? So one way is to apply the concept of Markov chain Monte Carlo. So what do we mean by that? Let us try to understand. So the idea is to somehow generate a Markov chain xt, where t is in T, whose stationary distribution is f. So it's like we should be able to construct a Markov chain whose stationary distribution will be the distribution of our interest. So suppose we start with some initial value, say x naught, and then we let the chain run for n steps. So where n is significantly large, considerably large. Then till how long are we going to go on doing this? So we'll go on generating observations from that Markov chain. How long are we going to do that? So we are going to do that until it reaches its stationary distribution. So once the chain has converged, whatever observations we generate afterwards will be from the stationary distribution f. Am I right? See, what do we mean by stationary distribution? So when you studied Markov chain, you might have studied that stationary distribution is a kind of limiting distribution of a Markov chain. So if a Markov chain has a certain state space, then the probability that the chain will be in a particular state in the long run, that probability is basically obtained through the stationary distribution of that chain. So if you stick to this idea, you will understand that now instead of discrete time, discrete state space Markov chain, suppose you are in a continuous time, continuous state space Markov chain. Then how is it possible? So then in that case, because you are the time is also continuous and the state space is also continuous. So won't the limiting distribution be like a continuous PDF, and so that PDF should be, so the Markov chain should be such that that PDF is your target PDF. So this is the basic idea behind the Markov chain Monte Carlo methods. So how do we implement it, or what are the ways in which we can implement it? So all MCMC methods are based on the same idea. The difference is just in how the transitions in the Markov chain are created. I hope you are able to see this. Let me zoom it a bit. Sorry, the clarity isn't that great for this page, but I hope you will be able to read. Not much content is there on this page. So there are different algorithms to create such or to generate such Markov chain. So one popular algorithm is Metropolis Hastings algorithm. One more, there are different versions of Metropolis Hastings. You make little changes here and there and you get another algorithm. So Independence Metropolis Hastings algorithm is also there. Random walk MH is also there. Then one more, totally different, is Gibbs sampler. Then a combination of these two algorithms, that is Metropolis Hastings within Gibbs. So we will try to have a look at all these algorithms. So there are many other algorithms to create a Markov chain whose limiting distribution will be the distribution of our interest. So now, to understand how or why this MCMC works, let us first understand one of these methods, isn't it? First, we must see how the Markov chain is getting generated. Then we can see whether it is giving the target distribution ultimately or not. So for that, let us first try to understand the Metropolis-Hastings algorithm. So now what do we mean by Metropolis-Hastings algorithm? So let us consider the Metropolis-Hastings algorithm. Suppose we wish to generate sample from a PDF fx where S is the support of this PDF. Now let Q be the proposal density. Now this Q is not like the proposal density which we have considered in acceptance rejection sampling or importance sampling. This Q is constructed so that it is as if the conditional density given X. So in some sense, in some way, this density should depend on the variable X. So for example, this can be normal X sigma square. So where X is the mean of the distribution. So in that way, this should be a conditional PDF. So how this PDF is chosen, this we will discuss when we discuss the examples of Metropolis-Hastings algorithm. So let us now try to imagine that this is a conditional PDF where the parameters of this density function depend somehow on X. Okay, so now it is a Markov transition density describing how to get from state X to state Y. So now similar to ARM, acceptance rejection method, the MH algorithm is based on the trial and error strategy. Means what? Trial and error means generate an observation and see whether it can be from the target distribution or not. That is the basic idea. So that is why we say that it is a trial and error strategy. So let us see the algorithm. Basic steps. So suppose x naught is an initial value of x. So the algorithm starts like this, that suppose you have some initial value uh, on the random variable whose PDF is f. So which initial value you should have? So you should have an initial value where the PDF is positive. So suppose x naught is such value. So now suppose we have generated x naught, x1 to xt. So suppose t values are generated, then this is the step. These are the steps to generate the next value. So how do we do it? So suppose the Markov chain is in the state xt. So that is the current value. The last value generated is xt. Then generate an observation y from the proposal distribution q with xt as the parameter of the distribution. So q at y given xt. So given xt, this is what matters. So your conditional distributions parameter will be dependent on the current state of the Markov chain. Now the next point will be the next step is generate a random number from uniform distribution, and then xt plus 1 will be the observation generated from the proposal distribution if this uniform random number is less than or equal to this alpha, and if this is not the case, then the next number will be same as the earlier one. That it means that the Markov chain will remain in the same state, isn't it? If xt is equal to xt plus 1, there is no transition, na? So even at time t plus 1, the Markov chain is in the same state. So that will be xt plus 1. So it's like xt plus 1. Let me explain again. Xt plus 1 is y if the random number generated by you is less than or equal to this alpha, and if not, then it will be same as the earlier state, that is xt. So now what is this alpha? So this alpha is defined like this. It is, so suppose these are the two numbers x and y, then it is minimum of, now let us try to understand this ratio. This is nothing but target distribution computed at the observation generated from the proposal multiplied by the proposal distribution computed at the observation from the target distribution given the value from the proposal. Notice that here x indicates value coming from target distribution and y indicates values coming from the proposal distribution. So minimum of so alpha xy is basically minimum of this ratio and 1. Now what is this ratio? So fy is probability that an observation is coming from, it's a kind of, it's a PDF na, so how can you interpret it? So it is not exactly probability, but you can say it's a kind of chance that a value is coming from the target distribution multiplied by the probability that it was, if this was the state in which the Markov chain is, then the x got generated. So it's like fy into qx given y upon fx into qy given x. Let us leave what do we mean by this numerator and denominator aside for a bit, because when I explain the procedure or the result where we discuss how Markov chain works, then I'll explain this again. So for the time being, let us try to just assume this expression of alpha xy. So alpha xy is minimum of this ratio and 1. So alpha xy will always be between 0 and 1 then, because that being minimum of these two quantities. So if this quantity is more than 1, then it will be 1, otherwise it will be equal to this ratio. So alpha xy is basically acceptance probability. Now why do we call it acceptance probability? Because this is nothing but the probability with which the observation coming from the proposal distribution gets accepted as the observation coming from target distribution, isn't it? You are allowing xt plus 1 to be equal to y with probability alpha, isn't it? Alpha xty. So what is alpha xty? Alpha xty is the acceptance probability for the observation y to be an observation from the f target distribution. So always try to remember this. Alpha is an important quantity here. So thus this is how the MH algorithm is implemented. So thus we get Markov chain as x naught x1 to xt with xt. Now see, so x naught was the initial value. Then we implemented the algorithm step. We went for step 1, we went for step 2, we got x1. Then using x1 we got x2. So notice that every time the earlier observation is being used to generate the next observation. So in that sense it is Markovian. So x naught x1 up to xt. Now with xt approximately distributed according to fx for large t. So what will happen? Now the claim is that f is going to be the stationary distribution. Now do you think that a Markov chain reaches stationary distribution within a few steps? No, it takes long enough time, isn't it? You might have discussed this when you studied stochastic processes. So it takes time. So maybe 1,000 values, 1,000 steps for some distributions. For some it may take even longer, 10,000. For some it could be in lakhs. Okay, so this t should be very large. So what happens when t is large? When t is sufficiently large, you can say that the Markov chain has now reached its stationary distribution. So now after that point, whichever observations you generate, those observations will be coming from F, the target distribution. So this is important. This is the basis of the Markov chain Monte Carlo methods. So a common choice, this I have already mentioned, a common choice for Q is normal x b square for some b greater than 0. Okay, now let us see why or how does MCMC work. So how does it work? So suppose Pxy is the transition probability of the Markov chain. So with transition from x to y. So Pxy means probability that if a state, if the Markov chain was in state x, then it will enter state y. So this we are denoting by Pxy. Now suppose f is the target distribution. Now since f should be the stationary distribution of the Markov chain, so according to the theory associated with the Markov chains, a detailed balance equations should be satisfied by F. So what is the detailed balance equation? So the detailed balance equation is like this, that F will be a stationary distribution of Markov chain with this kind of transition probabilities if Fx into Pxy is same as Fy into Pyx. What is the meaning of this? Fx into Pxy means if the chain starts with the state X and then if it enters state Y. So probability that this will happen. So it starts with state X and then it enters state Y. This should be same as if it start with state Y and then enter state X. So as if the chain is trying to balance itself. Whether you go from X to Y or you go from Y to X, ultimately if these two are same, then and if that is the case, then that distribution will be the stationary distribution of that Markov chain. So our goal is to show that this F, the way we are generating observations, this F satisfies detailed balance equation. So suppose now X and Y are any 2 points, any 2 values. Okay, so then either this will be the case, that is Fx into Qy given X will be less than Fy into Qx given Y, or Fx into Qy given X will be larger than Fy into Qx given Y, right? So either this will be true or this will be true. Why equality won't be there? Equality won't be there because we are dealing with continuous distributions. So suppose without losing generality, suppose one of these is true, that is suppose Fx into Qy given X is greater than Fy into Qx given Y. Why are we considering this? Why are we bringing into F and Q and all this stuff? So notice that the construction of MH algorithm requires the computation of alpha, and the computation of alpha requires these terms. So these terms were there, this ratio was there in the construction of alpha. So somehow we are bringing it here in the discussion. So suppose F is this. So suppose the second one is true. So this holds. Let us call it as star. Then Fy into Qx given Y is lesser than this Fx into Qy given X. So as a result, this ratio will be less than 1. So because this ratio is less than 1 and alpha is nothing but this ratio and 1, minimum of this ratio and 1. So clearly minimum will be this, and so alpha will be simply equal to this ratio. So alpha is Fy into Qx given Y upon Fx into Qy given X. So keep this in mind. So if we have this, then alpha is equal to this. Okay, now, so we had considered 2 points X and Y. So it's like we are having two values in the on the real line. Simply two values on the real line. Now what will happen if we replace them? That is, instead of Y, suppose, so this right now this was the value coming from target and this was the value coming from proposal. Now what if it is the other way around? That is, this is the value coming from target and this is the value coming from proposal. If that is the case, then what will happen? So simply replace Y by X and X by Y in this ratio. So the minimum alpha Yx is minimum of Fx into Qy given X upon Fy into Qx given Y and 1. Now this is still true, isn't it? This is still valid. This is still valid. So what will happen if now see we are taking ratio of this exactly, isn't it? Ratio of this here. So what will happen? This quantity was less than 1. So the not ratio, reciprocal. So the reciprocal of this quantity will be clearly greater than 1. And so as a result, this ratio is greater than 1 and so the minimum will be simply 1. And so alpha Yx for those same numbers, so the alpha Yx will be 1 because of the inequality which we have assumed in star here. Okay. So keep these things in mind, that if I have this, then alpha xy is this and alpha yx is 1. So remember these three things in mind before going further. So suppose now pxy, now let us consider the probability of transition from the state x to y. So pxy is the probability of jumping from the state x to y. So what do you need for this? So you need first the proposal distribution must generate y and then you must accept y, isn't it? What will be the meaning? When will you consider? When will you jump from the state X to Y? How your procedure works? So MH algorithm or any algorithm. See, notice that to implement MCMC, you will have to have certain algorithm to generate the Markov chain. So suppose you are considering MH algorithm here. So how does it work? So the first thing you do is you generate observation from proposal distribution, and then the second thing is you either accept it as a distribution, as an observation from the proposal distribution, sorry, target distribution, or you go with the earlier value itself. So if you go with the earlier value, then there won't be any transition. The state will be again in the chain will be again in the same state, that is X. So when the transition happens, the transition will happen when you accept the value coming from proposal distribution as a value coming from target, isn't it? Then only that transition is going to happen. The state is going to change. So suppose proposal distribution. So for the transition, the first thing which should happen is the proposal distribution should generate the observation Y, and secondly, you must accept this Y. So these two things must happen if you want to compute probability of this. So now how this will happen? Proposal distribution must generate Y. So how do you get the probability Pxy? So the proposal distribution will generate Y with this, isn't it? Qy given X. We are in continuous setup and you must accept Y. So what is the acceptance probability? You know, alpha xy represents the acceptance probability. So clearly Pxy is the product of Qy given X multiplied by alpha xy. Now substitute the value of alpha xy. So what do you get? Qy given X into Fy Qx given Y upon Fx Qy given X. So if this Qy given X gets cancelled and you simply get Pxy as Fy by Fx into Qx given Y. So if you take this Fx on the left side, you got the equation as Fx into Pxy is equal to Fy into Qx given Y. Okay, so you have got one equation for this Fx into Pxy. Okay, so let us call this as equation 1. Now let us consider jumping of the chain from the state Y to state X. So now what should happen? Y to X. When will you consider Y to X? So right now here Y is as if Y is the current state of the Markov chain and X is the next possible state. Okay. Then when can this happen? If Y is the current state and if you want next state to be X, then for this again the same argument will hold, isn't it? It will be like the proposal distribution should generate X and you must accept X. So the proposal distribution generate X. So earlier state is Y. So given Y will be there and then it should generate X. So Q will be there because Q is the proposal. So Qx given Y into now what is the acceptance probability? So alpha Yx, isn't it? So Pyx is Qx given Y into alpha Yx. But what is alpha Yx? We have already computed this. Alpha Yx is simply 1. So this is simply Q of X given Y. So Pyx is Q is equal to Q of X given Y. So if you multiply both sides by Fy, what do you get? Fy into Pyx is equal to Fy into Q of X given Y. So you have got, have a look at the first equation again. Let me minimize it a bit so that you can see it both the equations together. See here, Fx into Pxy is equal to Fy into Qx given Y and Fy into Pyx is Fy into Qx given Y. So equate these two, what do you get? See. So from 1 and 2, what is the, so see the right hand side is same. So the left hand side should also be the same. But the left hand side is nothing but the detailed balance equation. So thus, if you use the Metropolis-Hastings algorithm, so in short, if you implement MCMC method, then the procedure definitely satisfies, the Markov chain satisfies detailed balance equation. And so as a result, you get the target distribution as F. So to understand it better, let us have one example and then I'll stop. Then we will see how this example can be carried out in the R package. So Fx is now 1 by pi 1 upon 1 plus x square. So Cauchy distribution, and the Q, the proposal distribution is normal x b square. So what will be alpha xy? So it will be minimum of fy qx given y, fx qy given x 1. So calculate one by one. So fy qx given y will be Cauchy PDF at point y, and qx given y is normal PDF at point x with mean y. Okay, so it will be like this. Similarly, fx qy given x will be Cauchy PDF at point x into normal PDF at point y with mean x, isn't it? So let us consider the ratio. So these terms 1 by pi, then 1 upon b root 2 pi, then this exponential term also, they will get cancelled, and what will remain is only this. So 1 plus x square by 1 plus y square. So clearly alpha xy is minimum of 1 plus x square upon 1 plus y square and 1. So what will be the MH algorithm? So the MH algorithm will work like this. Generate first an observation from normal xi b square. This is for the I plus 1th step, obviously. So it is as if you have already generated I observations. So xi is already there with you. So generate y from proposal distribution. Then generate generate an observation from uniform 0 1, and then the next observation from the target distribution will be the observation from the proposal distribution if this u is less than or equal to this alpha here you have calculated, or it will be same as the earlier observation. So let us see how this can be implemented in our many interesting things we are going to discuss. So I hope you like this topic.